I wanted to ask you also some of the things that it seems normal to you, but it is always take us in a shock. When you talk to or reply to certain question, how you reply with Quran ayat, and as you said, you don't memorize the full Quran.
I'm not Hafiz al-Quran.
Yeah. How is it all there? How do you remember all those ayat?
First, number one is Allah's help. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Imran chapter 3 verse 160, if Allah helps you, none can overcome you. If Allah forsakes you, who is there then who can help you? So let the believers put their trust in Allah. Number one is Allah's help. Number two, Allah says in Surah Ankabut chapter 29 verse 69 that if you strive in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will open up your pathways. So number two is striving and struggling. Anyone who strives, Allah promises, Allah will open up your pathways. If you don't get success, it's not Allah's fault, it's your fault, that you have not strived enough. And number three is Allah says in Surah Nahl chapter 16 verse 43 and Surah Anbiya chapter 20 verse number 7, Allah says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلِ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know, ask the person who is knowledgeable. The third is the technique. So these three are the main pillars of my Dawah training program and I train my students. So people ask me, what is the technique? I said, first you ask me how to get Allah's help. That's the most important. Then is striving, and the least is the technique. So as far as I'm not Hafiz al-Quran, but as I told you earlier, when I go, I strive a lot. I prepare myself, I do research, and I prefer memorizing my talk. Because if I memorize the talk, all the verses which I've memorized help me in the question and answer session. If not of that same lecture, of some other lecture. And we prepare ourselves, as I told you earlier, that if I'm giving a lecture on women's rights in Islam, I try and read all the verses of the Quran dealing with women. I try and hear lectures of other speakers, what questions were asked to them. So I collect a data bank of maybe 200 questions on women. And then I prepare answers for them with references. Then I memorize that completely. So it is hard work. It's the technique that how you memorize by chapter number, verse number, and believe me, my students do a job much better than me.
Yeah.
My son, mashallah, is Hafiz al-Quran.
MashaAllah.
He speaks Arabic, I don't know. I don't speak Arabic as a language.
Oh.
He knows English very well. He can rattle off from Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas at a faster speed. And mashallah, I know that Arabic is the most important language in the world. I try to learn it. Allah gave me success very little. Maybe Allah has this plan. But all my three children, both my daughters and my son, they speak Lugha.
MashaAllah.
So here, mashallah, this is mainly because of Allah's help. And I tell my students that with all your technique, with all your jihad, if Allah doesn't help you, it will be useless. So if a da'i has the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will surely help him. So it's mainly because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and striving that we are getting this result.